From LALATE News headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Mornings LALATE.
It's a big morning with a lot of news as the President of the United States promises stimulus checks will arrive within 10 days. I have that video. The President accepts a gift from Ireland. I have that breaking detail. Coming up late in the hour, I have the new statements from Dr. Fauci about the third wave. Meantime, breaking news from the Federal Reserve about your stimulus. $1,400 third stimulus checks continue to land across the country. And those $1,400 third stimulus checks are needed right away. Millions of Americans received their $1,400 third stimulus checks on Friday. Others received them on Monday. And others received them yesterday. But if you have yet to receive your $1,400 third stimulus check, when will it land? I have all those details as well. Meantime, breaking news as a new video from the White House as the White House addresses concerns that it's going to raise your taxes. A new statement from the White House Communications Director about your $1,400 third stimulus check, how soon you would get it, and more. I have that video for you as well. Also, video from Chuck Schumer addressing your $1,400 third stimulus check. Millions of Americans on Direct Express have yet to receive their $1,400 third stimulus check. So what is going on with them specifically and with that instrument? From across the land, I have all the details, every bank one at a time, about your $1,400 third stimulus check by direct deposit. The breaking news starts right now. The toast is toasting, the butter is buttering. I'm here, you're here, and get ready for a lot of deliciousness. Just need some more bacon. And the coffee is brewing. It's time for a mega dose of Mornings LALATE, starting right now. That $1,400 third stimulus check landed in millions of bank accounts last Friday, then Saturday, then Monday, and yesterday. But you may not have received your $1,400 third stimulus check. So I'm going to go over what may be happening with yours. Don't fret, it could be landing throughout the day and also tomorrow. I have all the details, bank by bank, and also new videos from the White House about your $1,400 third stimulus check. Good morning, and how are you? It's a day after St. Patrick's Day, and hope you did not have visions of multiple stimulus checks last night, while holding those green beers. But how are you? I hope you're having a beautiful new day. It is very cold here in Los Angeles. It's about 40-something degrees still at 9 o'clock this morning, so hope you are warm where you are. If you have not liked this video, make sure you like the video. It really helps in the algorithm rankings. Let's get about 5,000 likes. Also, make sure you subscribe because throughout the day, I will be going live with you and updating bank by bank, account by account as to the missing $1,400 third stimulus checks. Also, if you want to become a member, the link is at the top of the chat and also in the description. These are the banks that have paid stimulus checks to viewers of this channel so far. Citizens Banks, PNG, Bancorp, Chime, PayPal, NetSpeed, Green Dot, People's United Bank, US Bank, PNC, Capital One Bank, and also MetaBank, Navy Federal, Wells Fargo, Chase, and Bank America. Now, here is what you need to know if you bank at one of those banks which I just mentioned. First, a lot of those banks did not start to show the deposits until late yesterday. So it's only 9:20 on the West Coast, 12:20 on the East Coast in the afternoon. It's still too early. More deposits could be posting throughout the day. When a bank clears a bank deposit, it posts throughout the day. It doesn't just post at 12:01 a.m. And the great news is that most of those banks that I had the details for you, viewers didn't see those postings appear yesterday until later in the day. Most of them did not show them on the morning's first show or the second morning show, and the vast majority of them started to show up on the noontime show and even some on the afternoon show. So that's the great news. Second, bank deposits could appear anytime today, and also they could appear tomorrow. And they could continue posting next week. Now, here is also the great news, is that the White House has made very clear that if you are receiving it by direct deposit or you're receiving it by paper check, guess what? Everyone will get it within 10 days of when it became law. Now, this is incredible great news because no one was expected to see a paper check until 3 weeks after it became law. But the president's recent statement to the American people was the following, that you're going to see a stimulus check land in your mailbox or bank account within 10 days of when it became law. That means by the end of next week, everyone will have their stimulus check. Here again is that video.
We're going to reach two goals in the next 10 days. 100 million shots in people's arms. 100 million shots. And 100 million checks of $1,400 or more in people's pockets within the next 10 days. We're on the way. Help is on the way.
Those checks are dramatically needed, especially after the Federal Reserve addressed the American people yesterday. In singularly one of the most important press conferences you will hear from the Federal Reserve, the Federal Reserve's message was loud and clear. This economy is not rebounding yet, so stay calm. We do not have inflation. We do not have reemployment. We do not have improving labor, that we need more stimulus. This is great news, but more about that video in a second. What I want to go over with you is that the great news is that stimulus checks will still continue appearing today. They'll still appear tomorrow. And they could still start appearing Monday and Tuesday for direct deposit. Now let's go over specifically Direct Express for a minute. Right after this video is a separate video just about Direct Express. Millions of Americans use Direct Express. What is it? It's an instrument where the federal government pays benefits onto a card called Direct Express. What viewers may not know, and I certainly did not know till earlier this week, is that some Direct Express cards in some part of the country are underwritten by one bank, and in another part of the country underwritten by other banks. But as of this morning and as of yesterday, I had yet to see any Direct Express consumers and viewers of this channel whose card is underwritten by Comerica Bank have yet to receive a direct deposit. This is important to note because in contrast, I have seen people receive a direct deposit into their Direct Express card when it's underwritten by Wells Fargo. This is a very distinct contrast. Now, the great news is that ultimately you are the provider of the information. So if you use Direct Express and you're watching this video, drop in the live chat right now. Have you received it or not? Shortly before I went live, I already saw some of the comments coming in right before the feed went live. And a lot of you said, I'm on Direct Express. I haven't received a stimulus check. Now let's back up for a second. Last night on on Evenings LALATE, I went over the very, very poor, bad, disconcerting folklore, urban legends, falsehoods that have been circulating in the last 2 days about stimulus checks. So I got to go over each of them one at a time and make sure you understand these things are incorrect. First, the Track My IRS stimulus tool is an incorrect instrument. It generally doesn't work. So if you track your stimulus check and you show no information, it doesn't mean anything. Second, if you use the Track My Stimulus Check information and it says March 17th as a date, that is not cause for concern. That just means that was the effective date on the stimulus check. Now, here's what you need to know about the next one, is that for purposes of direct deposit, all electronic disbursements from IRS was sent out last Friday. So why would you not have a deposit today or yesterday? It's all the factor of your bank, not you. Which brings me to the next fake narrative, that IRS is sending out direct deposits in multiple waves. Also untrue. It was one wave, and the wave was last Friday. Finally, the most disconcerting, the most troubling, and the most egregious falsehood, which I'm not surprised it's back again, is the following: that people on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, and railroad benefits should not get a stimulus check. Categorically untrue. Categorically untrue that your stimulus check is coming at a different date because you're on benefits, and categorically untrue that your check is being treated in a different way because you're on benefits. This is not only so untrue, but it makes me very upset when anyone tries to run that type of story. In April of last year, when this channel was a newborn child and it had 100 viewers, I went viral with a 3 million view video in which I told viewers that if you're on SSI and SSDI, please do not buy into these very bad fake narratives that say you don't get things, you get treated worse. It's not true. It's not true. The impacting factor is not you, it's the bank. And some certain banks have chosen not to process the release of the funds yet at the time of this recording. Now, if you show the word processing or pending, or don't show the words processing or pending, what does that mean for you? Let me go over that as well. Most banks, for purposes of the $1,400 third stimulus check, are just showing it available. It's not there, and then it's available. 10 o'clock in the morning, it's not available, and 10:05, it is available. It's just happening generally that way, 9 out of 10 times. 10% of the time, it's showing pending or processing, and then it's available. What does pending or processing mean? It means that some banks want to show that they've received a deposit, but they're waiting a certain period of time before releasing the funds. Generally, most banks are 24 hours. In the case of $1,400, which is not a $10,000 or $20,000 deposit, it's $1,400. Most banks would release the pending deposit the next day. So if you do see a pending or processing, good. It's likely to mean it's the next day. On the other hand, if you don't show something, if you do not show something pending or processing, it is not cause for concern because it's likely to be available the next day. So who would be eligible for direct deposits of their stimulus check and who would not? Let me go over those details in a second because there's a new twist to that you're only hearing on this channel. But what I want to go over is Chuck Schumer and also the Federal Reserve and also the press secretary spoke about a series of major events that impact your stimulus. First, President Biden assured Americans that the stimulus is happening right away. But Chuck Schumer has been pushing for Americans to understand that in addition to the stimulus check, there's other series of items coming to you. Here is a recent video by the majority of the Senate with his two Senate Democrats from Georgia.
Directly near people so they can help out directly.
Yeah, and it's such an improvement where last year, smaller cities like Augusta and Savannah and Rome, they had to beg the governor for the help. Right. Now we are sending that help directly to those smaller cities and to counties and to towns in rural Georgia. And that's going to keep police and firefighters, EMS employed. It's going to keep vital public services going. And just to have the resources coming for our public schools is so huge.
The comment is clearly about public sector hazard pay and its impact on you. But also of a big impact is a new series of Q&A between the White House and a pool reporter. And that pool reporter asked, is the president going to raise your taxes? More about that in a second. And what did the Federal Reserve say about stimulus going forward? I have those comments as well. They're coming up later in this video. But let's go back to the $1,400 third stimulus check. Why would Direct Express still be pending? It has nothing to do with you. It's just the instrument. But in the video after this, I'm going to be dealing with just Direct Express specifically. Now, here's what you also need to know, is that if you hear one of these banks mentioned in the video, and you do shop at your bank, and you've yet to see your direct deposit appear, don't worry, it may be today. It may be tomorrow. Moreover, who are eligible for the direct deposits and who are not? Let's recap that as well. First, the people who would receive direct deposits are the following. 1, people who receive benefits from the federal government monthly on an electronic item. This includes people on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, and railroad benefits who receive their monthly benefits either in their bank account, their checking account, their savings account, or on Direct Express. Number 2, people who receive their first and second stimulus check by direct deposit. Number 3, people who updated their account with IRS by filing their 2020 tax return early. Now, this is something you're hearing for the very first time this morning after St. Patrick's Day. Late yesterday, I started to hear from viewers that just yesterday, Those viewers who filed their tax returns as soon as the 2020 tax window started in mid-February and updated their bank account information for direct deposit in those 2020 returns in mid to late February are getting the direct deposit of the $14 stimulus check in their account. This is working. So this is breaking news you're hearing for the very first time. Now, on the other hand, I did have one viewer, a longtime viewer, say, I updated my direct deposit account and just filed the 2020 tax return 2 days ago. Is that going to work? Absolutely not. Moreover, IRS has issued an advisory saying you do not use the IRS tool as a way to get that stimulus check landing in your bank account in a way that's not counterintuitive. More about that in a second. But this is great news. So if you did file your tax return for 2020 in mid to late February, and you updated your bank account information, this may be you. Also, let's turn to those tax preparers. TurboTax and H&R Block. I've had viewers from H&R Block receive the stimulus check on their Eberl card without problems. But there were a series of reports in broadcast news yesterday about some random viewers having problems, not viewers this channel, but some random readers having problems receiving direct deposit if they use TurboTax. That was not a situation which happened for viewers on this channel. But guess what? I have big news from the White House about, are they going to raise your taxes to support the next stimulus package? Will there be reoccurring stimulus checks? And why might your stimulus check still come next week in a different manner than you expected? I have those breaking developments and the videos about them right out of the White House coming up in a second. But first, here's a little bit about the community page. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. It's a big morning, the coffee's brewing, the toast is toasting, the butter is buttering, and I hope you had a delicious green St. Patrick's Day, and I hope the luck of the Irish brings you more green today in a $1,400 third stimulus check. If you have not subscribed to this channel, make sure you subscribe. Throughout the day, I will be going live and going into detail with you. In the video right after this, I will be jumping into the live chat, and we will do a Q&A bank by bank, and I don't want you to miss a single minute because I'm tracking when that stimulus check could be landing today or tomorrow by electronic receipt. Also, let me recap those banks that, if you're just joining me, that have paid some viewers this channel electronic deposits yesterday and today. Those banks that viewers have received deposits are from Citizens Bank, PNG, Bancorp Chime, PayPal, NetSpeed, Green Dot, People's United Bank, MetaBank, US Bank, PNC, Capital One Bank, Navy Federal, Bank America, Wells Fargo, Chase. Now, viewers who use the Direct Express card when it's underwritten by Wells Fargo have received the Direct Express deposit, but those that bank with the Direct Express card when underwritten by Comerica have not received it as of yesterday, and still at the time of this recording, which is about 9:30 on the West Coast. The great news is that the day is early, and that while you heard a lot of banks in that list, most of those banks started to make deposits yesterday in the middle of the day. But if you do not see the deposit occur today, if you do not see it occur tomorrow, could it come next week in a different form? Yes, I have those breaking details coming up in a second. But first, I want to cut to this really shocking video out of the White House. The White House had its daily press briefing, and during one exchange, a pool reporter asked, "Is the president set to raise America's taxes to pay for the next stimulus package?" Let's see the press secretary's response to that question.
The president's remarks on taxes last night. Two things. One, when might we expect a major push on this? And two, what does small to significant mean?
It depends on how much money you make. Are you a billionaire? Then you may pay more in taxes than someone making, a family making $425. There's going to be a range in any tax proposal. He talked about this on the campaign trail, and he talked about it during this interview last night, in part because it's on his mind about how to ensure people are paying their fair share, and that we are looking for revenue funds to continue to build back better. But I don't have a timeline for you on when you'll hear more. It's just something that he has long had a commitment to, and I expect in the coming months, or sooner than that, you'll hear more about his next stages of his agenda, but this is certainly part of what's on his mind and what he would like to work with Congress on. Go ahead.
Yeah, in the ABC interview, the president said that democracy is having a hard time functioning. Can you clarify, was he just talking there about the Senate and the filibuster, or is it a broader concern?
He was asked in that frame, and asked in the frame of how to get work done, and how to move forward the agenda for the American people. And the president's an optimist. He is a person who believes that there is a lot of opportunity for Democrats and Republicans to work together, that there is a history of support for some of his.
The rest of the comments by the press secretary are addressing the issue of whether this president can get a next stimulus package through the Congress. The answer was not particularly responsive to the request by the reporter. But what's very interesting was that prior series of questions by the prior reporter asking whether the president would raise taxes, again, was also not responsive. What's important to understand is that during the campaign trail, the president was not very clear about who would get more taxes and how those taxes would be raised, and if those taxes would be used for reoccurring stimulus checks. Now, let me make something clear, which I don't think I've made clear in recent days. Elizabeth Warren has pushed for the wealth tax. You've heard about it a lot on this channel. The President of the United States does not like Elizabeth Warren's wealth tax during the campaign trail. But here, the press secretary makes it sound like he does like a tax for billionaires. Ultimately, forced stimulus is absolutely on the books. It's underway. And the call by nearly 100 Democrats in both the House and Senate is for a stimulus check every month to the end of this year, which would be upwards of $12,000 to $16,000. This is more than FPUC retro. This is more than hazard pay. This is more than SSI and SSDI, $2,400 a month. And shortly later in this video, I'll be going over the new video from the Federal Reserve that says, guess what? This economy needs stimulus. We are far from over. But let me cut back to your $1,400 third stimulus check. If you did not receive it yet to yesterday, today's March 18th, you still haven't received it, you go throughout the entire day today and you don't see it then, what should you think? First, not cause for alarm. It's still early. No reason to be alert. That's the first issue. Number two, it would still likely appear tomorrow. That's the big great news. And then here is the interesting rub. Under second stimulus, countless viewers who got their first stimulus check by direct deposit got their second one by paper check. They were looking for the direct deposit for the $600 second stimulus check in December, and it showed up in the mail in a paper check. And they said, what is this? IRS was asked to explain, it couldn't explain. What I need you to know is that if you do not see a direct deposit in your bank account today, Thursday, by the end of today, starting tomorrow, please be very careful with the US mail when it lands in your mailbox. Go through it very slowly, because slid in there may be a beige, very skinny envelope or a white, very, very thin envelope that is indescript, may look like spam mail, may be an envelope you are not expecting, and may have $1,400 or multiple stimulus checks if you have a big household. This is important because I don't want you to misplace that stimulus check. I had people in December have this happen to them. They were waiting for direct deposit. A check came in the mail. They threw it away. They watched the videos and they said, I threw that thing away you're showing me. Yeah, you don't want that to happen. Now, the great news is that while this is Thursday, that paper check is coming weeks earlier. Under second stimulus, paper checks were not supposed to come until 3 weeks after it became law. But everyone, whether it's direct deposit or paper checks, will get it by the end of next week. So the great news is you're getting the stimulus checks. They're landing. And the great news is that the stimulus check may land by today or it may land tomorrow. Coming up in just about 10 minutes from now, I have a new video from the White House Communications Director talking about your stimulus check. I have the gift to the President of the United States from Ireland that was revealed yesterday. I have new statements from Dr. Fauci that responds to the concerns about the spreading new virus strain, especially one in California, that could derail stimulus and could be signaling the reason for more stimulus across the board. But here is singularly the most important video that was delivered about stimulus this week. It came from the Federal Reserve yesterday. During the FOMC meeting, the Federal Reserve came out and said very clearly, we are far from out of this pandemic. We need a lot of support because unemployment is still not where it needs to be. Let's watch the video.
I would like to start by noting that it has been a full year since the pandemic arrived with force on our shores. Looking back, it was clear that addressing a fast-moving global pandemic would be plainly and primarily the realm of healthcare providers and experts. And we are grateful to them and to all the essential workers for their service and sacrifice. The danger to the U.S. economy was also clear. Congress provided by far the fastest and largest response to any post-war economic downturn, offering fiscal support for households, businesses, healthcare providers, and state and local governments. Here at the Federal Reserve, we rapidly deployed our full range of tools to provide relief and stability, to ensure that the recovery will be as strong as possible, and to limit lasting damage to the economy. We are strongly committed to achieving the monetary policy goals that Congress has given us: maximum employment and price stability. The economic fallout has been real and widespread. But with the benefit of perspective, we can say that some of the very worst economic outcomes have been avoided by swift and forceful action from Congress, from across government, and in cities and towns across the country.
During the pandemic, as soon as it hit, the Federal Reserve provided three types of stimulus. One, it bought mortgages. Two, it bought bonds. And three, it kept interest rates low. Going into yesterday's meeting, the Federal Reserve could have dropped two of those instruments of stimulus and said, the economy is doing better. But guess what? The great news was that the Federal Reserve said no change in policy. We're supporting the economy with all three instruments going forward to at least next year. Let's continue.
More people held on to their jobs, more businesses kept their doors open, and more incomes were saved as a result of these swift and forceful policy actions. And while we welcome these positive developments, no one should be complacent. At the Fed, we will continue to provide the economy the support that it needs for as long as it takes. Today, the FOMC kept interest rates near zero and maintained our sizable asset purchases. These measures, along with our strong guidance on interest rates and on our balance sheet, will ensure that monetary policy will continue to deliver powerful support to the economy until the recovery is complete.
And that recovery, as indicated by the Federal Reserve, is not till next year. which signals the need for reoccurring stimulus to the next year. Great news. During that break, some viewers started to ask, what can I do if I'm missing something? And that certainly tees up IRS. And people are asking in the commercial break, can I call IRS? Can I fix things? Can I go on a website? Can I do something? Let me make very clear. IRS has issued a very strong statement not to attempt to fix anything for third stimulus at the moment. Just days ago, the IRS issued a statement that said if you have issues about your third stimulus check, otherwise called the economic impact payment, IRS strongly urges taxpayers to not file an amended return regarding the new legislative provision or take unnecessary steps at this time. This included other instruments that people were asking about as well. The child tax credit to $10,200 for unemployment, and other things like the earned income tax credit, the $1,500. IRS's statement late yesterday surprised viewers as well. IRS also announced late yesterday that your 2020 tax return will now be allowed to be filed later than usual. They did this because of why there's so much confusion about this third stimulus package. IRS moved the deadline normally from April 15th for personal tax returns to May 15th, which, by the way, is a Saturday. And the deadline would be the following Monday. Why did they do this? They did this because exactly of what the comments are in some of this video right now. People are saying in one of the comments, I got a stimulus check for my wife and myself. I didn't get one for my child. Or I'm missing a stimulus check. Or I have a question about fixing something. How do I fix things? IRS sees what you and I see, which is the following. This third stimulus package, this stimulus package specifically, is very peculiar because it has stuff that concerns the 2021 tax return next year and concerns the current tax return this year, and also concerns the stimulus checks of the third stimulus package this week. So there's a lot of people that have a lot of things to fix. And I see your great comments in this video right now. And IRS says, we see there's a lot of things to fix. It's just a lot of things to fix. So you know what, people? Don't file amended tax returns just yet. That's what they said a few days ago. And yesterday, they did what everyone was expecting them to say. Hold off. We're giving you an extra month to file your tax return. And they've also said, we're going to come out with fixes. So ultimately, if you got a stimulus check but missing a stimulus check for a household member, third stimulus, I'm only talking about third stimulus at the moment. You got a stimulus check for your husband, for the wife and the husband, but not for the child. Or you are missing a stimulus check. And I'm telling you, don't worry, wait to the end of next week. And we go to the end of next week and you still don't have a stimulus check. Don't worry, because IRS is going to have the fix. If you're worried about that child that's under the age of 5 and you want to make sure you get that $5,000 for that child, the $48 plus the $3,600, don't worry, IRS is going to have that fix as well. IRS has a lot of stuff to do. And this is, I think, the first time I've ever seen a stimulus package where there's items in 2 tax years that IRS has to fix. A lot of stuff, but the great news is they know you have issues. Let me jump into the live chat right now and see some of the comments. Direct Express, I'm having problems, says Wendy. I will give them to the 26th for my stimulus check, says Martha. Nathan, I haven't gotten mine. I'm on SSI. What's going on? Nathan, it's an impact of who you do business with, not an impact of SSI, because I've had countless viewers get their stimulus check on SSI as early as last Friday. It's rather who they bank with. I bank at Columbia Bank, and I'm on SSI. No stimulus check, nothing pending, says Sonia. Thank you for the information. There's Ashley. It doesn't matter what benefits you're on. Yes, that's a great comment. It doesn't matter if you're on SSI or veterans benefits. It doesn't matter, in fact, if you're on benefits. Rather, the issue at hand is the Direct Express card, underwritten by Comerica. Some viewers are having big delay issues with it. Did anyone receive their stimulus from Charterway direct deposit, says Ayana? I don't know. Great question. There's Sylvain. Direct Express, nothing. Yes, that has been the big issue. Direct Express, when underwritten by Comerica, no one has seen anything. Christy, SSI, Green Dot, nothing. I have had viewers on Green Dot with SSI get stimulus check yesterday. But thank you for your comment. Keep on watching for it, Christine. Thank you for your update. Let's see who else we have. We have Joanna. Kamerka, nothing yet. That's a common message we're seeing from viewers. There is Tara Khan. First Convenience Bank, nothing yet. Thank you for your update. Another person about Columbia Bank for SLAP, nothing yet. Someone says Chase. Robin says nothing from Chase. And another one says nothing from Kamerka, a Direct Express in San Antonio. That's Danielle. Robin, nothing on Direct Express, Kamerka, and Danielle, nothing from Kamerka Bank, and Robin, nothing from Chase. But some viewers have gotten Chase. Citibank. Oh, that's a great one. I have not had anything about Citibank. That's one of the major banks. I've not had any details about it. I will detail that in the next video. But guess what? Don't fret. Don't worry. In the next video, I will go into the live chat throughout most of the video, and we'll go bank by bank. We'll go situation by situation, especially the Direct Express card. And we will detail more about when and where that stimulus check may be arriving. If you're joining me late in this video, viewers have received the stimulus check, not all, but some, on Citizens Bank, PNG, Bancorp, Chime, PayPal, NetSpend, MetaBank, Green Dot, People's United Bank, Navy Federal, Emerald Green Card from H&R Block, which I forgot to mention before, US Bank, PNC, Capital One Bank, Bank America, Wells, Chase. And coming up next, in the next video, you'll see new video from the White House talking about your $14 stimulus check. You will also see new statements from the White House's medical team, including CDC and Dr. Fauci, about this new third wave. And we'll also address the issue about the Direct Express card. If you've not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Also, like this video. It really helps in the algorithm. The more you like the video, it really helps. So make sure you subscribe and like this video. And I'll see you in just 3 minutes from now as Mornings LA continues with a special report just about the Direct Express card and direct deposit. Stay with LA for more.